Okay, now it's time to make our spaghetti graph. So what we want to do is find the amplitude of our sine graph at all of those angles along the x-axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our unit circle and try to recall that the sine of an angle corresponds to the vertical height of that triangle, just like we drew in problems before. So my first angle is 0 degrees, but I can't make a triangle out of that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my second angle, which is pi over 6. And think about drawing a vertical line down to the x-axis. That's going to make a right triangle, and sine of that angle is going to be represented by the vertical height or the y-axis. So take your spaghetti, line it up with that vertical line, and break the spaghetti. Now you're going to take that spaghetti stick that represents the height, put it on the corresponding angle, which is pi over 6 on your x-axis, and tape it down. Now let's move our next one. We're looking at pi over 4 is my next angle. Make a vertical line from the point on the circle pi over 4 down to the x-axis. Break your spaghetti, and then put it on the corresponding angle, which is pi over 4. And secure it. Then just keep on going. So now we're to pi over 3. Hold down your spaghetti. If you hold it at the base of the x-axis, then it's a little bit easier to break it off in the correct spot. Keep going like this. My next angle is pi over 2. That's going to be the highest height that my sine graph has. And I can't really make a triangle, but this is the maximum amplitude of the sine graph. Break off your spaghetti. Line it up with pi over 2. Secure it. All right. Keep on moving. Pi over 3. Oops, that didn't break off good. Okay, now we got it. Secure it to your graph. And keep going. Let's see, now we're to 3 pi over 4. Try to be precise with these spaghetti. Pi over 6. Okay. At the angle pi, there's no height there, just like there was no height at angle 0. And so I'm not going to have any height there. So do you see the shape of this curve? Starts at the origin, rises up, and then here it touches the x-axis again. And now we're going to do the last half of the circle. So now I'm to 7 pi over 6. Think about making a vertical line up to that x-axis and trace it with your spaghetti. Notice this time my vertical line goes from the x-axis down below into quadrant 3. So when you graph this, make sure you go to the corresponding angle, but also now you're going to be putting spaghetti below the x-axis, like that. Continue to make those angles. Again, your rope may have rotated, so just kind of rotate it back. You may want to put another piece of tape on it to keep it in position. Okay. Okay, and now we're finished. And you can clearly see that the graph of sine starts at the origin, rises up, reaches a highest amplitude at pi over 6, comes back down, and there's a 0 at pi, and then it dips below the x-axis, and you find another 0 at 2 pi. All right, so now you should be ready to finish the cosine graph, which is almost the same, except for the cosine graph, instead of measuring the height of the triangle, you will be measuring the adjacent side of the triangle. So what we'll be doing is measuring horizontally, and then breaking our spaghetti, and then placing our spaghetti vertically on the graph.